just so you can get an idea. You get this one online. This is a great book. I use it very frequently for the meditations, and we might do some from today. Okay. All right. So what I wanted to find out from you guys, because I think I've already taken up enough time, is does anybody want to share why they're here today and what they're hoping to get from this 5-part course? How many sessions have we got, Sheila? 4 or 5? 4.
5 sessions.
5 sessions. Okay. 5 sessions. Great. Don't have to squash it all in. Does anyone have anything they want to share about why they're here or what they expect or what they're hoping to get, hoping
Can I
to
just
learn?
say a general welcome to everybody?
Oh, hi, Veronica. Oh, I thought I did.
I mean, you
Hi,
did a
Veronica.
great job, but
You welcome everyone.
I also wanted to say welcome everybody. It's a 5-part course on Fridays, 7 p.m. New York time. And
I'm sorry.
the floor is back to you.
I took over. Thanks, Veronica. Veronica, did you want to share why you're here, apart from the fact that you're host?
Well, yes, I'm host because Sunny can't make it today.
Oh, I see.
SPC for Shanti Deva Center. And yeah, I'm really interested to see how the Gaelic tradition approaches mindfulness meditation. I've been doing it in other schools before.
Okay, so with an app or?
I did the Vipassana with SM Goenka. So that's
Uh-huh.
that practice.
So I did many years ago. That was my first experience of meditation was Vipassana courses, and I would do those 10-day courses.
Yeah.
And our teachers were Burmese, and I think they were Goenka's teachers. I think they might have been. Anyway, they're all past now. But they would come to our center in Australia. So those courses are grueling, and particularly I think the way Goenka teaches is because you're not really supposed to move once you've sat down. Our teachers are a little bit more flexible with that. We were able to get up and move around, but there was quite a bit of pressure within the group not to sort of move, because every time somebody moves, it might disturb someone's meditation. So it was, I somehow loved doing it, but it was grueling. But what I do appreciate now is that particular training, like 4 days of 9 hours a day of focusing on the breath or focusing on this spot at the base of the nostril, really was excellent training and still is serving me today, even though I don't necessarily practice Vipassana any longer. So I found it also within our own tradition, a lot of these visualization meditations are, in fact, do require a lot of concentration. It's very easy for the mind to travel off. So I do find this background of having Vipassana has been very, very helpful. And Venerable Sangha Kadra also, I think that was her initial background as well, was Vipassana. Yeah. So if any of you do get an opportunity to do a Vipassana course, even if you just do one, I think you'll find it will serve you. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that, Veronica. Anybody else? Victoria, you look like you're about to say something. No, just had your hand up. All right. Hi. Anybody else want to share anything about why they're here, what you expect? Otherwise, I'll just leap straight in. Where did Beth go? There she is. Oh. All right. Okay. So what I'd like to share with you first is this little image here. Some of you may know the tanka from which this came. But what you see here is this is me chasing my mind that's being distracted here by this little monkey. And this is generally how we are. Mind is easily led astray by tons of distractions and shiny objects and things that we think we're supposed to be doing or that we think are important. I'm going to stop sharing this now. I'm going to close this. And what I'd like to bring up is not this one. I have quite a lot of documents open here. Where are we? Where's it gone? Did I accidentally lose it? Just wait a second. Let's see. Gonna have to find it again. It's gone. Just wait. Thanks for your patience, you guys. Still here. Okay, we'll do this again.
Venerable Katy,
Mm-hmm.
someone says in the chat that since your intro and bio weren't recorded, if you could please repeat it next week.
I will.
Thank you very much.
Really? Do you want to hear it again? All right, I'm going to share this for you now. It'll probably come out differently, though, when I do it again. Highly likely the story will change. All right, I want to share this with you. This is So what you'll notice about this image is this little, down the very, very bottom is, again, the monk, the elephant, the mind, and the monkey leading the mind astray. So this is a lovely, I love this tanka, this picture. You've probably seen it outside many gompas. So this is a pictorial depiction of the samatha practice, calm abiding. So the Tibetan word for samatha means calm, and the practice of samatha meditation develops the ability to focus the mind in single-pointed equipoise or perfect concentration. And this is practiced in a secluded place, hopefully, adopting the 7-point meditation posture of Vairocana. And we're going to go into that shortly. So right now we're down here, the very bottom right hand. So you can see how quite a bit of work to get up to this spot here. And the main thing that I can say about meditate, any kind of practice, is consistency and persistence and just not giving up. So we've been doing this meditation class at the YMCA now for a year. And there's a number of people in there who have come consistently for once a week for 12 months. And even though they're just doing it once a week, there's a huge change in the energy in the room. And it's just extraordinary. They used to come in and fiddle around and phones would go off and this and that. And all of a sudden now last week, everybody's just comes in and they just go, phoom. And it's really nothing about what I'm doing. It's their own internal practice. And also I'd say there's something to be said for the practices that we have been taught here, that Lamsa Rinpoche and Lama Yeshe introduced to us. So I can see kind of stepping outside our FPMT community and teaching the same meditations to a bunch of people who have no understanding or interest in Lama Zopa Rinpoche and Buddhism and Lama Yeshe and all our other teachers. They're still getting enormous benefit from these practices. So I don't know what to say about that other than I think there's a lot to be said for, you know, it's not going to happen overnight. We have to work at it. And we've got to make it interesting and fun. It can't just be a grind. Otherwise, you just won't want to do it. So this little first section here is this is a Tanka shop who very kindly put some study up here. So the monk here is called the power of study. So the monk is holding a hooked goad and a lasso, which represents the clear understanding and mindful recollection. The elephant represents the mind and its black color, the mental dullness. And the monkey is the distraction or mental agitation. It is also black in color. And this stage is achieved through the power of study or hearing. And the monk fixes his mind on the object of concentration. He is depicted chasing the elephant with his lasso and hooked goad. The monkey runs wildly, leading the elephant. So this is the first stage. We start learning a little bit about meditation, but we're unable to control our mind, really. I think I never left this stage the whole time I was on that 12-month retreat. I think I might still be there. Anyway, the power of concentration. This stage is attained through the power of concentration and lengthening the period of concentration on the object. So today we're going to do a little bit of meditation around this. And there are the 5 sense object offerings. So, silk is touch, the fruits taste, the conch smell, symbols sound, and the mirror sight. And these are objects of distraction, which we all know. And the elephant and the monkey begin to turn white from their heads, which shows the continuous progress in fixing and holding the object concentration. And the power of memory, stages 3 and 4. The stages are attained through the power of memory and recollection. And the meditator here holds the clear and detailed concept of the object. This is actually, honestly, stage 3 and 4. It's quite advanced, if you think about it. The monk finally lassos the elephant and fixes the wandering mind of the object. The hare, so this is a new little animal that's been introduced here, you can see on top of the elephant, which now appears on the elephant's back, representing the more subtle aspect of sinking or mental torpor. So when you do meditation, you want to fall asleep. That's that. All the elephant, monkey, and the hare look back, having recognized the objects of mental distraction. So I think that's enough on that tanka for today. But you get the idea. I think it's beautifully represents what's going on in the mind, but we're here. Some of you may not be. I'm definitely here. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that. So what I'd like to do first is for us to sort of settle into that meditation posture. And I'll just lead us into that and talk a little bit also about what mindfulness is, because there is a lot of mindfulness discussion out there in the community, and there's a lot of people selling it, and it's kind of it's on apps. And, there is some talk that if meditation is taught irresponsibly or taught to the wrong people, it can be disturbing for the mind. So I don't know what to say about that, because I've not ever had that experience with anyone. But I think we're following a lineage here that I think is quite healthy, and a lot of people have had a lot of experience in it. So if you're sitting in a cross-legged position, you can have maybe sit on top of something, like have your sits bones on something and have your knees They can be, there's no super virtue in having your knees wide open and looking like a yogi. Okay. You just do what's comfortable. We don't want to hurt ourselves here, particularly if you've got bad knees. So if you're sitting cross-legged, do it comfortably. Have your shoulders aligned with your hips and your ears aligned with your shoulders. If you're sitting at your desk, have your feet flat on the floor about a hip's width apart. Have your knees about a hip's width apart. So don't sit there kind of crossing things over. And then you can have your hands just resting comfortably on your thighs. That's not in that 7-point posture. How they say is to have the right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. So if you sit there for a bit, you will realize that you've got this kind of energetic ball happening in front of you. There's a connection between the thumbs. In a way, for me, it feels as if it keeps me grounded. It closes an energetic field somehow. Lama Zopa Rinpoche used to talk about this particular mudra with the thumbs touching, activating the bodhicitta channel. I never asked Rinpoche, how's that working, or why does that happen? Or unfortunately, now he's not here to ask. But I like the sound of that. That's why I repeat it, and I will try and find out a bit more about it. So one of the reasons I like to include maybe gliding the head back so the ears are aligned with the shoulders is because the weight of our head, the pressure on the spine increases, the pressure on the neck increases, the weight on the neck increases the further the head is out of alignment. So our head is about, I don't know, 10, 13 pounds. So the amount of torque and pull on the body increases the more you have it out of alignment. So then what happens is your shoulders start to round, your back starts to round. This is as we get older. Then you can't see where you're going because the head is facing downwards. So what you want to do is all of a sudden you start to lift your chin, and then what's happening is a round back, a neck that's kind of cracked into the back. So you have agitation. So before we get old, before we get to the point we don't have the strength to hold ourselves up, which is often also what happens as we get older, and then the bones also start to deteriorate as we get older, the muscles get weaker. So we train ourselves now with this habit to kind of sit in an aligned fashion. And the reason to sit in an aligned fashion is not because we have to sit correctly and look like a meditator. It's because this is the way the great meditators of the past have discovered that they can concentrate better this way. Well, and why? Because physiologically, the blood is flowing better. You're breathing better because you're not leaning forward and crushing your chest. You're opening your chest. Your brain doesn't have to work so hard because with, at the top of the neck, there's a ton of blood vessels and nerves all going through these tiny little holes at the top of the spine, the base of the skull, into the brain. So the more your head is out of alignment, the harder all these little kind of poor little neural pathways and blood vessels have to work. So, give them a little bit of an easy time by aligning ourselves correctly. So our blood flows better. The nerve impulses are flowing better. Our breath is flowing better, and our overall chi is going to flow better if we are aligned. So now imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And imagine you're lengthening your spine. And now here's about the chin. Again, as I said, not to have the head too far forward, out of alignment with the shoulders if possible. So the chin is kind of a little bit back. And then you're not dropping your chin too far down, because if you do that, you're just going to collapse in the chest and you're going to get this dull mind, like the black elephant. If you have your chin raised up too high, and I see this often in the classes, people are meditating like this. What happens is you'll notice the back of the neck kind of gets constricted. And that apparently creates agitation in the mind. So when your mind is agitated, it's not really very easy for you to concentrate or focus. So here we have a nice sitting position. So now I just want you to think about relaxing your scalp, relaxing your forehead and the eyes, the nose, the area around the mouth and the cheeks, the jaw, the back of the tongue. Imagine you've got a little torch and you can shine that in your ear, and as you do, everything just relaxes. Relax the back of the head, the neck. Allow your neck just to, it's kind of length, a little bit of length in the back of the neck. And relax your shoulders. Allow the shoulder blades to drop down. Relax your throat and your chest and your belly and all of your limbs. The arms, the hands, the legs, feet and toes. And now bring your mind to the breath, sensations of the breath. So notice as you inhale and exhale, you may feel that the air is a little cooler as you inhale, slightly warmer as you exhale. And depending on how you've been trained, you may notice sensations at the base of the nose, the tip of the nose, or the side of the nostrils. So best as you can, try and breathe through your nostrils rather than your mouth. There's a very good book called Breath by James Nestor, explaining all the benefits of nostril breathing versus mouth breathing. One of them is our health. So we have a ton of protections in the nose from viruses and bugs and germs and all kinds of things. We don't have the same thing in the mouth. Anyway, James Nestor, breath. So we have a very intimate relationship with our breath. And there are many sensations connected to the breath. So we might think also too, if you're not focusing on the inhalation and exhalation around the nostrils, you might notice the rising and the falling of the chest area. But wait, there's more. You have lungs here, and they're like balloons. So you have a rib cage. It's 360 degrees. So as you inhale, your rib cage expands at the side, at the front, at the back. Now, we don't have a huge amount of proprioception in our back. So it's almost like you have to really think about it. So imagine as you breathe in, as you inhale, imagine you're looking at yourself from behind and see your back filling out as you inhale. Your diaphragm drops, and as you exhale, the diaphragm rises up. So there's some very, very subtle massaging of those organs, all the organs in this area, with this just by sitting, breathing. And then your belly, the rising and the falling of the belly. So just notice all these sensations. We're often not aware, unless we go on a run, we're walking hard uphill, we're not noticing the sensations of the breath. And the breath is our friend, our most intimate relationship. Now, because we are in a Tibetan Buddhist environment, because we are learning about bodhicitta, I wanted to introduce, even though it's not in the course, but I do this, we do this every night in our Vajrasattva meditation. And again, giving just a kind of a shine a light, speak to consistency. We've been doing this for 4 years now. So Mary's been she was one of our founding hosts, Mary. So it's generating an energy of its own. But what we do every night here, we start looking at this idea of developing compassion, developing bodhicitta. And as some of you may know, if you've studied the Lam Rim, the first step in the Lam Rim is developing equanimity. Friend, enemy, stranger. So bring to mind all your loved ones, your friends, your family, your spouses, children, cousins, aunties, your best friend. Bring them to your mind. See their face. You know their laugh. And then we do have people in our life who we don't like so much. Now, in the Lam Rim, they label that particular group that can range from someone who just irritates you slightly to someone who really has harmed you and you just absolutely need to stay away from. They're kind of in the enemy group, which I feel is always a little bit dramatic for some people who you just find a little bit irritating. But anyway, that's that group. And then there are a ton of strangers. And so, for those of you living in New York City and large cities or congested areas like here in Marin in Northern California, it's just people everywhere in their cars, on their bikes, taking their kids to school. It's just people everywhere, all of them strangers. None of them we particularly care about. We don't remember them. We're not leaving them anything in our will. And, if we heard that someone got run over or something like that, it would be like, gosh, that's sad. And that's it. We don't think about it again. But if that was your best friend, it would change your life. So due to impermanence, another very beautiful concept in the Lam Rim, these relationships change over time. And they can be interchangeable. That friend could become someone you don't like so much. A stranger, your best friend. So the person who's your best friend now, before you met them, they were a stranger. You had no idea about them. You probably passed each other in the store, but you didn't know each other. And they're all equal. They're just like you, just like me. They're all equal. They all want to be happy. They don't want to suffer. And they all have extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So here we're bringing everybody to the same level, developing equanimity. So I kind of think, we need to consider these Why are we doing meditation? Why do we want to do mindfulness meditation? Well, I mean, most people here probably have this idea they want to be of benefit to others. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be in this particular tradition. And one of the things we have to do first is take care of ourselves, because we're no use to anybody if we don't do that. So we need to take care of our own practice, our own meditation, our own mind. So now we're nicely sitting nicely. We've thought a little bit about developing compassion, developing bodhicitta. We've done the first step, equanimity. Now think about your environment. So for those of you living in the big city, there's probably a lot of sound that you may be used to because you've been there a while. There may be people in your home or your apartment. And so here we kind of return to the tanka, where they talked about sounds and smells, touch, sight. So if you have, particularly for you guys, it may be dinner time. So if you're smelling cooking, that could be a distraction. If you're hearing sound, plates kind of clattering, cooking happening in the kitchen, something like that, that could be distracting. So you might notice the mind will travel to see what's going on. So try not to be like Mrs. Craddock from Bewitched. Some of you may be too young. Anyway, Bewitched was a show I used to watch when I was little in the 60s. Mrs. Craddock used to she was the neighbor who would spy on Samantha from opposite the road, from behind her curtain. So don't be like Mrs. Craddock, to always constantly wanting to know what's happening over the other side. So when your mind travels towards an external sound, an external thing, smell, just be aware, allow that external distraction to be there. Try not to investigate, and then just come back to the same place your body is. Another form of distraction is our mind. Very busy. So each day you wake up, there's going to be probably something else going on in the mind. So, one really excellent way to deal with the mind that's kind of running around wild, we have certain practices. And one of the things I've often heard Venerable Rabina say is, the first thing you think when you wake up is, how amazing, I didn't die during the night. I mean, that stops you from going down the rabbit hole of, God, what day is it? What was I supposed to do? Oh no, I'm late. How amazing, I didn't die last night. Oh, Mani Padme Hum. So simple, but it cuts into that kind of habit energy of, what am I supposed to do? Or dull mind. So anyway, notice what's going on in your mind this evening. Did an email disturb you? Did something someone said disturb you? And try and put some space in between your thoughts. And the trick here is to not criticize what you see. Just be gentle with yourself. Be curious. So this is the attitude we need when we're looking at our mind. Curiosity. Oh, look, here I'm being a little reactive. Put some space there before you speak, before you act. Be objective. Curious and objective, like a scientist. So the trick with the mind is you allow the thoughts to arise. You watch them with curiosity. Gosh, I didn't realize I had so much resentment towards that person. Wow. What can I do about that? Okay, that's something for me to work on. Journal it, whatever. Talk about it. Maybe you have a therapist. And the trick with the mind is to sort of, once you've recognized where you're off to, don't follow it. Don't follow the thought, the conversation, the rumination. And just put a stop to it. And you'll find almost immediately, it's like, what was I ruminating about? What was that thing? So we want to, with our mind, we want to train our mind to go in different directions than it very often does. So there's our mind. There's our body, our senses. So now bring the mind to the breath. You can notice the sensations of the air as you inhale and exhale. And we'll meditate, just meditate on the breath for 3 minutes. Mummy, she says we can't do more than about 5. And really try and stay connected to the breath. And if you've noticed your mind's traveled, just very gently bring it back to the breath. So you can relax the technique and just listen and stay in meditation. I just want to talk a little bit about mindfulness. So what is mindfulness in this particular tradition? So they're talking about to be fully mindful is to allow whatever it is we are noticing to come fully to mind, to fully into our conscious awareness. And in this Buddhist tradition, mindfulness is presented with 4 characteristics. So without forgetfulness, our attention is able to engage in its object without forgetting it or losing sight of it. So it's like when you walk into a room, it's like, what did I come in here for? And it depends on familiarity. So the strength of mindfulness is dependent upon how familiar we are with the object. So this is how it becomes important that we do our practices regularly and consistently. This is how, our little YMCA group is growing and is getting so much benefit from these Buddhist practices, even though they have no idea where they've come from, or they have a little bit of an idea. And our Vajrasattva practice, it's just consistency, 5 nights a week, familiarity. So the greater familiarity, the stronger the associations our mind has with an object. And then the better we can stay focused or mindful of the object. Mindfulness just so serves to keep our attention from wandering away from its object. So it prevents distraction. And with certainty. When we are mindful of an object, we fully attend to it, get to know it with a sense of certainty. We are not attending to it half-heartedly or absent-mindedly. We give our full attention to our object of mindfulness, which can be the sensations in our body, the words of a loved one, the feeling in our heart, all the thoughts that are flowing through our mind. So mindfulness is actually a natural quality of the mind. We already possess this ability to pay mindful attention to what's happening in our life. We have an extraordinary capacity for visualization of someone we love. And we also, it's great if we can start to appreciate the importance of mindfulness to our well-being and learn how to nurture and strengthen this kind of natural ability that we have to kind of use it. It's almost like we've got this horrible disease and we have a plant in the garden that can cure us and we don't know about it. So it's like the cure for our disease is right under our nose, yet we don't even know it's there. So the first meditation in this course is called Simple Mindfulness of Body Through Physical Touch. So, we'll place our hands on different parts of our body in a slow and mindful way to guide our attention back to our own body and sense sensations there. So just notice any changes in your experience. of meditation due to paying attention to bodily sensations. So we've just done a little 3-minute meditation. So we'll do this mindfulness of the body through physical touch, and then we'll do another 3-minute meditation and see if you notice a difference. Okay, so just you can have a little wriggle if you want, or just settle back, adjust your position, check that you're aligned. Also check that you're breathing. So what we're doing here is we're invoking the power of our physical touch to help us become aware of the physical sensations at different parts of the body. So we'll very gently place our hands on a part of the body. And as soon as we do, you're going to notice you will immediately become aware of the sense of touch between the hand and the body. So when you touch the body, just do it very lightly. So try not to massage or, manipulate the body in any way with your hands. And we'll pause at each part for a couple of breaths and simply use the sense of touch to awaken our own awareness of the subtle sensations in the body. So, if you've done this Vipassana meditation, insight meditation, what we're doing there is understanding impermanence through focusing on the sensations in the body. So some people are more sensitive to the sensations of the body than others. So start at the crown. Place gently one hand on the top of your crown. So try not to kind of grab onto your head, but just allow your hand gently sitting on top of your hair. And allow the sense of touch to draw your attention there, and notice any sensations as you pause for a couple of breaths. And can you feel the warmth of your skull, your crown, in the palm of your hand? Can you feel the sensation of your hair in the palm of your hand? Can you feel the weight and the pressure of the palm of your hand on the crown of your head? Now move down to your face and place both hands very gently on your face. And notice the sensations there. If you're wearing glasses, spectacles, you can make very welcome to take them off. Can you feel the warmth of your hands on your face? Maybe your face feels a little bit cool to the touch of your hands. Are you tensing up any facial muscles? And can you very gently relax these muscles and get a different feeling, one of softness and ease and comfort into your face? Now just move your hands down to your neck and just gently rest them there. You can have maybe one hand at the front, one hand at the back. Can you sense the touch of your hands? Palms of your hands touching your neck. How does the skin around your neck feel to your palm? How does your palm feel to your neck? What other sensations do you feel? Now place your left hand on your right shoulder. You can just relax your right hand. How's the shoulder feeling today? High shoulder. What's going on with you today? And then just move your hand very gently down to your right elbow and just very lightly hold on to it with your left hand and notice the sensations there. You can feel the warmth of your palm on your forearm, your fingers holding your elbow joint. Maybe you feel the coolness of your arm. Do you feel skin or do you feel clothes? And then move your hand to the right wrist. And just allow your left hand to rest on top of your right wrist. And what do you sense there? Place one hand now on top of the other. You'll feel the palm of the right hand resting on top of the the palm of the left hand resting on top of the back of the right hand. What do you feel there? Feel the sense of warmth and touch between the hands. I'll place the right hand on the left shoulder. Just rest the left hand, the left palm in your lap, on your thigh. And what do you feel in your left shoulder? And for some of you, it may not be available. So just do the best you can. Not everybody can reach around with their palm onto their shoulder. And then move your hand down to your elbow, right hand resting on your right elbow and forearm there. And what do you feel here? Move that right palm down to your left wrist. And just hold it. And what do you sense there? And place one hand on top of the other. Just feel the warmth and the touch between the hands. I'll place both hands over your heart chakra, your heart center. Maybe the left hand first and then the right hand on top of the left. And do you notice the beating of your heart? Do you notice the breath? What other sensations do you feel here? Now bring your hands down to your belly. You can maybe interlace your fingers just to hold them around your belly. And what do you feel there? Do you feel the surface sensations in your hands and on your belly? And then maybe notice the sensations deep within the abdominal cavity. So a lot happens in this area. This is an area of digestion, creativity, relationships, babies, elimination. There's a ton of stuff going on in that little tiny area. Now move your hands over your hip bones, pelvis, if that's available to you. If you've got issues with your wrists, this may not be easy, but just as best you can, maybe try and feel your hip bones. Feel the weight of your pelvis on your physical support. And see if you can release the weight so your pelvis can rest comfortably there. And kind of slide your hands onto your quads, your thighs. Feel the weight of your hands on your quads, the warmth of your hands on your quads. And then move the hands down to your knees. And attend to the sensations at the knees. And leaving your hands on your knees, send your attention downwards. Feel the sensations on the soles of the feet, top of the feet, your toes. Feel the sensations of the surface underneath the foot. The connection to the earth, whatever surface you're on, the shoe that you're in. Maybe you feel the surface on the top of the foot, the sensation there. Can you release both your legs, the weight of your legs into gravity? And rest your body in this position and allow it to settle and be comfortable. And now we'll meditate here for 3 minutes. Look, everyone, you can relax. And if you feel that you have something you would like to share, okay, I have a question from, is it Sandra? Sandra says you fell asleep. You might have needed to. You're muted. Can you unmute yourself? Still can't hear you.
Okay,
Monica,
it
okay.
wasn't allowing me. I got it. So
Okay,
yeah,
tell me
I don't
what was,
understand the point of all of this. Like, what am I supposed to be feeling? Or like, I don't, and then the body one, it was just annoying. I was like, what am I supposed to be doing? I guess I'm new, so I don't know what
okay.
all of this is about.
So what we're trying to do is learn how to concentrate. And so one of the ways that they're teaching it is, and this is so interesting because so many people have so many different responses to this meditation, but I've never heard this one, but thank you for your question.
And then the
So,
falling asleep one too, yeah.
okay, so falling asleep is, okay, well, in my YMCA class, I have one woman that came in her first session, she snored quite loudly the whole way through. And then everybody in the one person complained. I left her alone because it seemed to me that this was a place where she could actually just let go and be herself and fall asleep. So if is this your first meditation class ever? Oh,
Yes.
fantastic. So I hope you persevere and come back because I think you're having a great response. So they start with the body because we are very visceral, human beings. Some people, though, I was actually thinking as I was doing, I'm like, some people are more about the body than others. So if you're not a person that likes to kind of get a massage or go for a run or do yoga or dance or anything like that, this might not make sense to you. So the next meditation that we're going to do, and we've only got 15 minutes left, so I'll have to do it a little bit faster, might be a bit easier. But sometimes they say falling asleep during meditation can be just its dullness, or some people get very agitated. It's like you were saying also, why am I doing this? What's the point? The main thing with meditation is to just kind of reduce, calm the mind down, calm the body down. So we have all these things in our mind that in Buddhism they call it delusion. So what they're talking about is anger, agitation, anxiety, depression, um, insecurity, all these kinds of things. And often we think that we are not in control of this, but actually we do have the capacity to control our mind. We just don't realize it. We have a lot of power. And it's almost like we need to harness this power. And this is just one technique that you can use to do that. And anyway, it's mindfulness of the body through touch. So when you touch your body, your attention immediately goes to this spot. So you're no longer distracted by everything else that's around you, right? You're focusing on your hand on your head. So I guess I could say the purpose of it is to help you develop focus and concentration and reduce distractions. And we're using the body and touch in order to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so what you're saying is if I kept doing this, it's okay for me to fall asleep,
Yeah.
but eventually I might not fall asleep.
Yeah, because this woman, Ola, at the YMCA, now she's been coming for about 4 or 5 weeks. She's snoring less,
And
which
then I'll
means
start to notice my thoughts more. I'll snore less and notice my thoughts more, is what you mean?
yeah. And what will happen also too is you might notice that you have a lot more thoughts in there than you actually realized you did. And then that might become a distraction. So for some people, there was one of our FPMT monks, and he did a 3-year deity retreat. And he was locked away for 3 years doing this one particular retreat. And he came out so angry and he was so disappointed. And he went to Lama Zopa Rinpoche and he said, I don't know what I've been doing for the last 3 years, because I'm in much worse state now than I was before I started. And Rinpoche's like, yes, the dirt has to come out. So, it's just, it's a little bit of a gold mine in there. You never know what's there until you start looking. And
So when those thoughts come in, it's okay. It's not like, oh, don't think these things, stop
absolutely.
thinking. It's
Well,
okay
yeah,
that they
it's
come in.
absolutely. And then it's not about stopping the thoughts. You're never going to stop your thoughts. Your mind is just continuously running. But it's about recognizing the thoughts are there and noticing whether this kind of thought is actually serving you, and whether you want to keep continuing down that road or
Yeah, because you
not.
mentioned something like resentments. And I was like, oh, yeah, like if you have a resentment, and then you said something like, oh, maybe I should work on that with a therapist, or I should try to clear it, is what you were talking about, right?
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
you might find things, and also I find it would be maybe useful to journal some of the things that sort of start to arise during the meditation, and then you've got something to work with. So I think it sounds like you're very cognitively aware.
Yeah.
Would that be correct? What's your job, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm a publicist.
Oh, there you go. All right.
So yeah,
So
I'm
you're used
definitely,
to words and
yes,
okay.
and sound bites and quick thinking. So there's always, these thoughts coming through, but it's okay, is what you're saying, and to then be curious about the thought that's coming through.
Absolutely. Approach
Thank
your
you.
approach your mind with curiosity always, rather than attack it with, well, God, why are you thinking that? It's not helpful. It
And
just
then
be
the body one was to give me focus, is why you were telling us to do
Yes.
this.
And I immediately thought, when you said, I don't know what the point of this is, I'm like, so interesting, because a dancer would know. Do you know what I mean? Someone who'd been trained in dance, they would have a completely different reaction. So anyway, thank you so much for your question. It's
Thank
fantastic,
you.
Sandra. Thank you. Anybody else have another question? We are running a little late. I'm so sorry, Sheila. But anybody else want to share anything? I noticed a lot of you nodding your head when Sandra was talking, so maybe some of you were agreeing with what she was saying. So hopefully that was all helpful. So the next meditation, I'm just not going to explain anything. We're just going to do it. We've got like 9 minutes left. Is it okay if I go a little bit over? Is everyone okay with that? We might, because I want to give you guys an opportunity to share if you need to. All right. Okay. So now we're going to scan the body with our mind. So again, bring your attention back to the breath. Align your body again. Notice the breath sensations. So we're going to place our intention without any physical touch to different parts of the body in a mindful way, slowly, and just try and get a sense of any sensations there. And the emphasis is on noticing and becoming aware of the subtle and changing sensations at each part of the body, without forcing the body to change, relax, etc. So, if you've done a Vipassana course, you'll be fully experienced at doing this. So for some of you, this is going to be a new thing. So you just do the best you can, and just acknowledge any sensations for what they are. So however you are turning up, it's completely fine. However you are experiencing, it is totally fine. There's not a competition here. You're only ever going to be where you're at in this moment. And that's just it. A friend of mine, I'm doing a retreat. I'm running a retreat with a friend of mine to Hawaii in meditation and yoga retreat in February. And we've been marketing this retreat, which is a new experience for me. Anyway, my friend's a little shy about trying to sell herself. She's the main yoga teacher. And she said, oh, I've been struggling with why am I having so much difficulty selling this thing, selling myself, calling people. And then she said, oh, I realize it's just this winter. I just want to curl up in a little ball and hibernate. So that's where she's at. She's just totally accepted. Oh, it's winter. So maybe that's where you're at today. It's winter. This is where I'm at today. I can't feel any sensations. And that's okay too. So try and normalize any distraction and mind traveling and drowsiness by stating that these are to be expected and they're totally normal. Just give yourself permission to be distracted, to be drowsy. And just return your attention. Once you've noticed you're distracted or drowsy, return your attention to your body and continue the scanning. And it's through repeatedly engaging with this object of mindfulness, the body, at the different parts, that we build up familiarity, which is a basis of strong mindful connection with the body. So start at your crown. Bring your attention to the crown of your head. And notice whether there are any sensations there. Maybe there's some tingling, a little bit of pressure or warmth or coolness, or maybe nothing at all, and that's totally fine. And move to your face and notice the sensations there. Can you release the face muscles, the muscles in the face, your forehead, your eyes, your jaw? And can you gently relax these muscles and let in a different feeling, one of softness and ease and comfort, into your face? So just invite yourself to come back to your body, to your neck, to your throat, and just notice the sensations there. And move to your shoulders. How are your shoulders feeling today? Maybe you have tension or discomfort, uncomfortable feelings here or somewhere else. Can you simply acknowledge them for the time being? Don't feel that we need to change anything for the better. Just let it be. And allow your attention to flow down both arms at the same time. Maybe there are sensations in the upper arm, at your elbows, your forearms, and your hands. Is there any tingling in your palms? Can you feel the pressure, the warmth of your hands in your lap? What about your fingers? Having activated sensation into your awareness, can you rest both arms on their physical support and release their weight to gravity? If you bring your conscious awareness back to your chest, your heart chakra, what are you finding there? Can you feel the breath along with any other sensations? And as you notice your natural out-breath, take this opportunity to release anything unhelpful, anything unwanted, to somehow just flow away with the out-breath. Maybe just say to yourself the word, just release. And coming back to your body, allow your attention to go deeper and lower until you arrive at your belly. And rest your attention within your body, the level of your navel, and sense the sensations there. And come to the base of the spine. Rest your attention on your sits bones, your tailbone, sensations within your pelvic bowl. And what do you feel, if anything? Can you release the weight of your pelvis into its support, into your chair, and rest comfortably there? Allowing your attention to flow down both legs at the same time. Notice the simple sensations at the hips, your quads, your thighs, your knees, your calves, the front of your leg, and finally your feet, the soles of the feet, the top of the feet, and your toes. Can you rest both legs on the ground and release their weight into gravity? Allow your body to rest. Allow it to settle and be comfortable here. Rest your attention with your body and your breath. Each time you notice you exhale, use it as an opportunity to deepen the sense of release, releasing anything unhelpful, anything unwanted. Just allow yourself to become present, just here in your meditation, nothing else. So just relax. Open your eyes when you're ready. And I'd love to hear if anyone has anything they want to share before we close. Anything, anyone? I didn't mean to drug you. Hi, Maya. Maya, can you
Hi.
allow people? Hi, Maya.
Hi. I wanted to ask if is it normal when you're sitting and as you're slowly feeling into different parts of your body and becoming more relaxed, do you ever have like a kind of like a spasm or like a movement of energy, like a wave through your body, or
It
just adjustments in the neck or things like that?
it could possibly happen, yes. Was that your experience?
Yeah, yeah.
Because nothing is wrong in this meditation. And some people are going to be more conscious of what their body's doing than others, particularly if you move your body a lot.
Mhm.
So if you do exercise, or if you do dance or yoga, or if you've somehow trained physically, you probably are likely more to notice what's going on with the body, because that's your focus. Do you know
Mhm.
what I mean? So there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with that, no.
Mhm.
Unless it becomes distracting. Like,
Mhm.
I have a friend who's a nun, and every time she would go to a teaching, her body would start jerking. And she said it's uncontrollable. She has no idea how that happens. So, I mean, yeah. So you're not alone. It's okay. Yeah. It could also be the body releasing and some things.
Yeah.
Okay. It didn't frighten you?
No, it's a bit strange, like a jerking suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess it startles you for a moment, and then you're like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, also just the sensation you like when you're really focusing, like I really notice like how much tension I'm holding in my body, even like when you're cueing us like, oh, you can release your pelvis into the ground, you can release your legs. It's like, wow, I didn't know that I was pulling up so much.
Yeah, exactly. And I notice this every night, because Vajrasattva, I do this in where we just release our face. And I didn't real half the time I don't even know how much tension I'm holding in my face until I instruct myself to release my forehead, or relax my jaw, or release the area around my mouth. And I'm like, wow. Or even just relax your scalp. It's like, oh, okay. Anyway, so yeah, thanks for sharing that. And is it a little bit like when you're falling asleep and you start to jerk, or do you know how you have that sometimes? Yeah, okay. I don't know what that is. That's sometimes very strange. You feel like you're falling or something. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share? We're running over. I'm sorry, you guys. Sandra, I want to check in with you. How was that? Are you even still there? Maybe you're making dinner now. Don't know. Dana. Dana wants to. Where's Dana? Hi, Sandra. How
So
was
yeah,
that?
it was, your explanation was incredibly helpful, because now I understand
Okay.
that I have to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Like, it's, I mean, in the sense that, like, is it like, is twice a week okay? Is that enough?
Um, so think about your profession and how you trained to become a publicist. It didn't happen without a lot of hard work, right? And
Yeah,
continued
twice a
hard
week would
work.
not be enough.
Yeah.
Right.
So what Lama Yeshe would suggest, one of our teachers from this tradition, is, 5 minutes is a good amount of time to meditate. And
But is there an app that I would get? Like, who do I go? Like, I can't do it
so,
out of a book.
no, absolutely. So what Sheila's going to do is post the video. Will the participants receive the video?
We usually post it on the website on the event page. That's what the link was for. And it takes a
Okay.
few days before it gets posted, but we could also forward it to everybody if that's.
Would you mind doing that? And then you can listen to it and just
just
follow
redo
along.
what you did.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
The other thing that you can do is at the very beginning, we did a settling meditation that took maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes or something, maybe a bit longer. You can just do that. And also what you can do is just put the timer on your watch if you have that, and then just close your eyes and focus on the inhalation and exhalation of the breath for 3 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And you can do that. I wouldn't do it in traffic, but you can do that if you're on the way to work, or if you have to settle yourself before a meeting, or and then you can also inhale for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, and we'll do this next week.
Yeah, because I won't have enough time to listen to the recording every day, but I could
No,
do
you can do 5 minutes or 3 minutes, right?
yeah. Yeah, that I could do, or even 5 with the breath. Is 5 minutes too long with the breath?
You'll know. I'd start with 3.
Okay.
3, and then when you get a little bit of encouragement, you might want to go to 5, but start with 3, see how you go.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I hope it. So anybody else have any questions before we go? Nothing? Are you just shy, or
Well, I'm just shy.
who was that?
I don't want to say I'm too shy.
Who are we who is
That's Eric.
Eric? Where are you? Oh, there you are.
Eric the cat.
Eric the cat. Did you say you're too shy?
Yeah, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but in my case, it's shyness.
Okay. You can just leave your cat there and tell me anything you would like to share. Oh, you've gone silent. Oh, he's muted. Okay, Eric, I'm not going to push you. If you have something you'd love to share, you can maybe write to Sheila, and then she can pass the email to me, and then I can communicate with you that way. And then, yeah, Beth says, nice cat, Eric. Okay. Okay. Anybody else have anything else you want to say before we go? This really is a 2-hour course. So, and the reason is because I really want to get people involved and talking and sharing. And it's and without getting everybody to know each other, this kind of shy thing happens. But hopefully after 5 weeks, we'll all know each other a little bit better, and we'll feel a little bit more comfortable with each other. And I might go around next week and just ask everybody, just to introduce themselves. So if that's not too stressful for you, Eric, and please don't not come back because of that. You don't have to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But it would be nice to hear a little bit from everyone. Okay, so in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition and a lot of traditions, we've created a lot of good energy doing this practice today together. And then what you would say is you wouldn't just kind of blow it. It's a bit like having a bunch of money you just won. So you would sort of like dedicate it maybe for the benefit of others and for yourself as you move along your spiritual path. So we can think like that, of dedicating today's couple of meditations that we did. And thank you so very much, Veronica, for being our beautiful host there, and Sheila for being our other beautiful host, and for all of you for turning up. And I hope to see you all next week, and we'll just continue on. So what I would suggest you do between now and next week is, if you've got the recordings, and as Sandra said, you don't have to spend 20 minutes doing it. You can actually do these meditations in a much shorter amount of time. And if I can get the document edited, I will send it to Sheila, and have Sheila send out the meditations to you, so you can actually have them. Yes, Sandra.
So if I do this meditation, like, should I bring to the group what's coming up for me? Or is that appropriate?
Yeah, if you feel comfortable, because sometimes like Eric said, he's feeling a bit shy. So he might be experiencing the same thing as you, but doesn't want to say. So if somebody else says, it's like, oh yeah, I had that too. So then
Okay.
you don't kind of also feel, if you're quite happy to share, then other people don't feel quite so alone in their practice because everyone's having a shared experience. So absolutely, whatever's coming up, share it. And I really thank you for expressing what you did at the beginning, because it's like, I had no idea, that didn't make sense. So thanks for letting me know. Okay.
Only because I'm new.
Well, yeah, we're all new. We're all starting. We're all beginners. Every day we wake up and every day I sit in my cushion, I feel like a beginner. So it's new is just a concept. But anyway, thank you. Anybody else before we go? I'm going to have dinner. No? All right. Thank you. Lots of love. I will see you all next week. Thanks, Shandy Deva. And yeah, come along to Vajrasattva. It's, if you want to, it's at Thupten Norbel Ling, tnl.org, their website. So look forward to seeing you there if you want to come.